Kind of like I had said before, I mean, going on other fans' podcasts, like we don't want to, I feel like since you've been on so many, you kind of have like, because I tried to check some out, and it's all like the same, like how'd you get started, how'd this, but like I kind of wanted to talk more so about like life and mentalities you have, because I know like the biggest thing for me, like listening to those podcasts, has been like comparing ourselves to that. And I mean, this is our third episode, so it's fucking like it's just getting started, but
Yeah.
like it's just hard to, especially with social media too, is like to avoid that comparing yourself to other people. And I mean, how do you kind of get out of that?
I mean, dude, it never ends. I mean, when we started out, we're comparing ourselves to like Rogan's podcast, and it's like, well, we have this many listeners, but he has like millions of listeners. And then, it never ends. And we live in a time where it's like two things. That's the issue. One is social media forces us to compare ourselves to others, like you just said. And then two, we're in a time where people are impatient. They're impatient for everything because we have access to everything so quickly.
Yeah.
Not just, I mean, literally anything. Like you can get anything at like the drop of a dime at this point in time. So people start to have that mindset with success, and that's just not the case, man. I mean, you hear a few stories of overnight successes, but that's not the norm. And, it takes 5, 10, 15 years of just like doing it every fucking day, before you might see some big success in it. So that's just how it is.
I mean, you talk about impatience. I'm a big, I don't know, that affects me a lot. I mean, just the whole story of like getting you as a guest. Like I went from a Saturday cause I like just moved to Oklahoma to start grad school. And like I had a shitty Saturday, like just settling in, like you're feeling alone and everything. And then the next day I'm like, well, fuck it. Like I reached out, let's see if something happens. And like 4 minutes later, you respond. I'm like, oh shit, like I want this now. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to like take a step back and think, like everyone's busy. Everyone has their own shit to do, so like, again, we're grateful you knew this. And so.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you have to put in the work, man. And it's not just success, but it's, doing a skill and spending time on that skill and becoming an expert at it. And there's a book called, I think it's in the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. I highly suggest it. Very good book. He talks about something called the 10,000 hour rule, where, some scientists or whoever, like social scientists, talk about how, to become an expert at something, you have to put 10,000 hours minimum into it before you're an expert. And if you think about it, that's like, multiple hours every day for like 10 years straight, at least, and, unless you put in that work and you're an expert at that then you can be impatient, because then it's like, all right, I'm a fucking expert at this. I've spent 10, 15 years of my life, perfecting it. Now I need to monetize it, and now I can be impatient. But until then, you're just perfecting your craft, man, no matter what you're doing. So that's what I try to tell myself even. It's like, all right, like I'm 30 now. So like, I'm getting close to 10,000 hours because I started, 10, 12, 15 years ago. But like, I'm barely there. I'm not there yet either. So it's